Good morning, campers. So let's do a reading. I want to do love and career today. But before we do it, we're going to do reading for both and guidance for both. I want to tap into your energy, first of all, so you know that this is your collective, as we always do. Secondly, I want to feel into your energy because I'm sensing few things as I open a channel for this collective. One being, I'm having this feeling that things are not happening. But not that things are actually, sorry, I can't, not that things are actually not happening, but you would maybe think that certain things that you're waiting for, hoping for, are not happening. I recorded a little message yesterday on my stories exactly about that feeling and about that emotion. If it's still there, you can watch that. If it's not, I think I'm going to post it as well on Instagram so it stays because it's an important message. We're going to discuss it today if it's really your energy. But I was also hearing that no one would know, right? So maybe you have emotions within you that you want certain things, that things are not happening in certain areas of your life, that you, right? But it's like you're not saying this to anyone. It's like you're pretending even before yourself. It's okay, it's good, I don't want it, right? Which is not a good thing, you guys, because we will never conquer and let go of an emotion and master that emotion if we don't really admit it to ourselves. The first step is always to admit it to yourself. I feel that, I want that, right? And that's the opening of the gate towards healing it. But okay, without further ado, let's just tap into your energy overall. What's the energy of the collective? I'm seeing Four of Swords. The Hierophant. The Hierophant. It's nice. Ace of Swords. Let's do two more or three more for your first row. High Priestess. Nine of Pentacles. One more for your first row. Two of Swords. There it is. Okay. This is what I'm hearing, you guys. We have Swords energy, so maybe you're an air sign. I'm hearing Libra, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. That's air signs. You, this collective, you would be quite a while on this journey. To have the Hierophant, to have the High Priestess, you're a mature collective. You're someone who, I'm hearing, even, again, we're going to tap into your career and all that stuff. But I'm hearing even that maybe you already work your mission, maybe you already found yourself in your mission when it comes to your mission in life. Maybe you even are a spiritualist. I'm hearing, so working in an area of spirituality, so a healer, a light worker, very sorry, confirmation, very, as I wanted to say, very independent. I don't know why I'm hearing forest. Maybe you like the forest, the energy of the forest. Maybe you're connected to the forest fairies. Maybe this has a meaning for you guys. I'm hearing someone who is very independent and who also cherishes the independence. But maybe I'm sensing that there may be a bit of a shadow area in that department, but let's see. But I'm hearing that you would be someone who is very independent. You're on your own. You're good on your own. You're conquering things on your own. Maybe that's something that it's important to you. Maybe you had a shadow in the past. People, karmic relationships, maybe families saying to you that you're never going to make it on your own. That you always need help. That you always need support. I'm hearing you always need to be taken out of trouble. Or maybe those conditioning sort of a scenarios that the woman without a man, she's never going to be happy, yet here you are thriving in your best life. with that Two of Swords, that's the one. Two of Swords and Ace of Swords. There is something on your mind, definitely, this collective. There's something that subconsciously I feel you think and you know that you have to change your mindset, and you're trying to change your mindset. You're trying to shift your mindset, but you don't know exactly, how do I feel about these things? How do I think? Or how do I shift that mindset? How do I change that mindset? Let's do another roll. The Hierophant. Two keys. I'm looking at the Seven of Wands. I'm looking at those two keys. It really like draw my attention. Maybe you are a key holder, which usually means, let me see that. Which usually means that you would be activator for people. You would take them through journey of activation, spiritual activation, grant them access to another door, gatekeeper, doorkeeper, key keeper. I'm looking at the Seven of Wands. I'm hearing two things with this. One, because there is this energy of the sort of a keeper of the gate in it. That's one that I was the fighter, the warrior. It would be the warrior, spiritual warrior. But I'm also hearing that there's something with your boundaries. It's like, I think you have, your boundaries are a little bit too strong. That's what I'm hearing. You guys, and we can go wrong with the boundaries, right? Boundaries are a very important thing. I always talk about this. Boundaries is something that it's an energetic shield for our persona, for our authentic self, for our inner truth. Healthy boundaries, right? But sometimes people struggle with the concept of boundaries because we usually focus on establishing those boundaries, right? We usually start from a point where we don't have boundaries. We struggle to say no to people, to say no to things that we don't want to do. We don't fully understand ourselves, so how could we protect that truth, right? Oftentimes we struggle to say no to people that we actually love and respect and cherish, so we force ourselves to do things, even if it's insignificant, right? That are not something that we want to do, right? So we usually focus on that. But then there are two more aspects of boundaries. One is, how do you react when people put boundaries with you? It's something that people usually miss. And the next one is, and I think that's for that collective, I think you've lost yourself and maybe put your boundaries a little bit too strong, a little bit too high. This is why you're going through certain things. Maybe you created this persona as well, especially if you work already as a healer. You already work as that key keeper. You created this persona of, I'm this independent, I'm good on my own, I'm this strong, empowered woman, which is beautiful. And I'm not saying it's not true. This is a true image for this collective. You are the high priestess. You sit on your throne, right? But sometimes we fall into that trap of feeling that we need to be perfect. If you're a healer, then right, and maybe you do mention, I feel like you are someone who is open. Maybe you mention to some of your friends, your community, I'm hearing as well. Maybe you have a community, whether that's through social media or through where you work with women you work, that you talk about your story and your struggles. But I feel like there's something that you're really not even admitting to yourself. That boundaries, there it is, the tower. The tower. Maybe you've recently realized that I don't have it all figured out. Do you know what I mean? I'm sensing this is going to be about love. Do you know how I always say, like, on this journey we have to conquer our healing, our mission, and heal the connection. I feel this is my collective that doesn't haven't conquered that completely, but we'll see. There's something as some sort of a mind tower, like they're trying to send you signs. Maybe even you've heard something being said online, or you a reading, or maybe if a friend said this to you, or someone you, however it is, I feel like your guides have been trying to send you this message, and recently it finally hit. It's like you're starting to realize, I haven't had that thing figured out. I've been high. Okay, let's see what else. The High Priestess. What's your energy? High Priestess. Three of Cups. Ooh. 10 of Cups. And one more. One more. Page of Wands. Page of Pentacles. Overall, this collective, I feel you are a mature collective, right? So don't make this fit. You're someone that you would have been on this journey for quite a while. You've been doing a lot of healing. You've healed many things. You stand in your High Priestess. You stand in your Hierophant. You would be a really powerful couple, yin and yang as well, spiritual yin and yang, right? So you have achieved some sort of a wholeness. Maybe you work your mission. I feel you already work your mission, this collective. I am hearing community as well. So maybe I always say this to you guys, there's a variety of ways that true divine feminines who are meant to, the healers, the light workers, the starseed, right? There's a variety of ways we can work our mission. Some of us, we connect to many people, we have platforms, and some of us we don't. Some of us we create smaller communities, we connect to fewer people. Not all of divine feminines have to end up being spiritualists and spiritual teachers. We're all healers, however. So I feel this collective, you have some sort of a community. I am sensing strong energy for female, so maybe female community, maybe that's what it will tap into your career in a moment. There is this sense of stability in your independence, right? So you would be independent, you would be feeling happy, and it's not like you're unhappy, this collective, in the life that you have. However, I feel that you have built too strong of a boundaries for yourself, maybe because of certain shadows that you had to face on your healing journey. You wanted to create that strength, that independence, and you got a little bit lost on that journey. Now, I feel like there are still certain areas that this would hit, this would be on your mind, that you haven't conquered properly, that you haven't understood properly, right? That you don't know exactly what direction to go, and it's like you don't want to admit it to yourself. Maybe sometimes we hold on to a thought, right? There's something that we think we figured out, and we hold on to that thought. Sometimes we even promote that thought, right? I am hearing love, but I don't want to, I'm hearing certain things in my mind, but I don't want to go there just yet. We're going to tap into love in a moment, but I feel like there's certain concepts within the bubble of spirituality that you thought you knew this, you thought this was your truth, you thought you figured this out, and recently something created that mental tower, something crashed that mindset, and you started to understand that you had it all wrong in this whole area. But there's a little bit of too strong of a boundary to ask for help. Maybe there is someone on your mind that that could help you with these things, whether that's a friend or a healer, or maybe someone you actually work with, like a healee. So that's why you're intimidated to say, that one area, that one concept, you need to be a little bit more vulnerable. I'm hearing this collective, that too strong of a boundary is blocking even yourself from accessing that area, from accessing that part, right? I think I'm hearing that there's a door that you closed, but they are giving you opportunity. I don't want to be dramatic, but I'm hearing one last opportunity. For the right collective, it would make sense, it would hit. There's a door on your path that you have closed for yourself, and they're giving you an opportunity, the final crossroads, to open that door one more time and to embark on that journey, to truly have it all. Because you have that Nine of Pentacles, right? But Nine of Pentacles is not Ten of Pentacles. You have that Ten of Cups, right? But you know very well, I don't know why I said you know very well, maybe you know very well, but the ultimate abundance, the highest timeline, it's Ten of Pentacles. It's the Sun card. You don't have these cards on the table. Yes, you're happy, you live a life of service, you live a life of purpose. Yes, you're fulfilled. Yes, you've healed. Yes? But there's something that you closed the door on. And they're trying to change your mindset that you had it all wrong. You didn't have to close that door. I think this collective, you really believe that door had to be closed, that it's part of the journey to close that door. Maybe you didn't even think that you closed the door. Maybe you thought that you've let go of that thing. It would make sense for the right collective. There's this element of they wanting you to really reconsider one more time. You can keep that door closed. I always say to you guys, we have free will. Not all of us will reach highest most aligned timeline. There are a few timelines that are a step below. It's that Nine of Pentacles. It's that Nine of Cups. It's not that ultimate fulfillment and everything, but it's a good life. It's a good life when you heal, when you have it all, when you're independent, when you live a life of service, when you're happy. But it's not the highest timeline. All right, it would make sense for the right collective. Let's tap in. I want to start from love, maybe, because we can spend more time on that. So let's see what's going on in love. Let's see what's going on in love. Let's see what's going on in love. Yes! Yes. Absolutely yes. 95. I feel like this, let's not, I feel this is the door that you close, you guys. Let's do a few more, hold on. 2 more. All right. Hold on. All right, we have great source of power, the dream team of change, reunion creates exponential growth, highly influential agents of change. I never understood what people meant when they used to use the term power couple. However, since I met you, I realized how much positive change we can create together. So maybe there's a part of you that believes that you and your person on your mind, person attached to you, your counterpart, that you could create that kingdom together, that it would be. I feel like I feel that everything that I said, you would know this collective. I feel you would know that you've locked that door on your highest timeline. Maybe you needed to lock it. Maybe you needed to lock it. Maybe you had other things to, to handle first. Sometimes that's how it works. We have to look at. Not everyone, all our journeys are different, and I always say this to you guys, that those 3 areas that we have to conquer, right? The healing, the mission, and the connection. Some of us, we go equally with these. Some of us, we conquer one of them first, and then we handle the others. And some of us, one of these things you really have to lock away, and because it's too painful. It's usually the connection, I find, with my feminists. It's usually the connection. Insecurities. If you really knew who I was and how I felt, you may not love me anymore. I'm afraid you'll reject me, and I'll show you. Knowing where you are, I don't feel like this is, maybe you still have some areas of insecurities and some part of you that you feel like you carry a darkness that maybe is not, oh, my incense just shut down. That's how you say it? No, that's not how you say it. Stupid. It's not shut down. What does it? How do you say it? Anywho, I feel the insecurities about the success of this endeavor. If opening this door, you have insecurities. Whether if you open that door, surely there's going to be more pain. No one said it would be easy. highest, most aligned timeline is for the most courageous warriors. And we have Capricorn and we have Virgo, earth energy. I'm going to read through these because maybe they're significant for you. However, I am sensing this earth energy with this collective, right? In a sense that you would to the element of earth, right? Because we were sensing air as well. But remember, I always say this to you guys, my universal truth. There's the one thing, our placements, and the one thing, our birth chart and our star sign, the sun star sign. But my universal truth is that we're all connected to one key element, that we're ruled by one. Sometimes it's a combination of two. We always have to, it's like the feminine and the masculine, right? We have to heal them all. We have to teach them to interact with each other, but then we either raise into our masculine or drop into our feminine. Similarly with elements, we carry all of the elements, the spirit, the earth, the water, the air, the fire. But as we heal them, as we balance them all, we usually gravitate towards one key element. That's our strength. And I feel for this collective, it's the element of earth. I had my life all planned out, focusing on my on my 5-year plan, but then I met you and everything. Again, I don't think this is about meeting you. I think this collective, you thought you had it all figured out. When it comes to love, you closed the door on love. You thought you had it figured out. Maybe you're one of those people and one of those collective that if you are, it means you learned nothing from me, okay? But I feel that you may be one of those feminines that think that twins are not meant to come into union. What do I always say to you guys? We are meant to come into union. On our highest, most abundant timeline, there is your divine counterpart and union with your divine counterpart. However, not everyone gets there. Why? Because destiny doesn't mean that it's given. You have to open that door. You have to take upon that challenge courageously. It's you. It's you who lead the way. I feel you had that plan. I feel you closed that door. I feel you felt that it's not happening. I don't want it. We have Capricorn as well. I was too focused on my career and my goals. I think this is it. You closed the door. We're going to do another row. We close the door on that connection, on love. You focused fully on your career. That's why you flourished so much when it comes to your career. We'll tap into that as well. You work as a healer. You created communities, but the boundary is a little bit too thick. Your first card is yes. What else you need to know? Not all is lost, I'm hearing. We're going to do guidance in a moment. What you need to do, what your guidance, magical muse. I became inspired by your presence, your energy, and your beauty. With this one, what I'm hearing, because we're going, maybe you are a muse to your person. Maybe they said to you, we have Leo as well. Maybe they said to you that you are their muse, that you are their inspiration. But I am sensing for this collective, as I said, you probably believe, this is the belief that you remember what we said? You had it all wrong. You're starting to open your mind. Because you, in the past, you've closed that door, you decided something, and I feel you maybe even shared this information with other divine feminines. I always say this to you guys. I don't want to judge you here, I'm not gonna, but I always say this to you guys. If a specific topic is not directly linked to your mission, do not talk about this, because you're only going to be projecting. If you are not meant to work with twin flames, with divine counterparts, with divine love, guiding people into union, if it's not part of your mission, despite the fact that you yourself are on a journey, do not talk about this with the people that you work with, because you're going to be projecting. What do I always say? We receive 2 types of downloads on this journey. One are downloads, intuitive thoughts, right? Feelings, the inner knowing about our own journey, what is relevant to us, only to us. They're not universal truths. They're what we need to know, the guidance we need to receive from our guides to carry on, right? towards our highest, most abundant timeline. Second type of downloads is the information that we receive for our mission. So for example, I myself, my path is I am a divine love reader. I guide divines into union. I work with twin flames. I'm an alignment reader as well. I'm a shadow worker. But one of my missions is to guide divines into union. So I receive downloads about the journey, things, how they're supposed to happen, how the universal truths of divines, of twin flames, that some of them have nothing to do with my own journey. I didn't go through this, I didn't experience this, because we don't experience it all. Do you know what I mean? It would make sense. I think you thought that for a long time you thought that divine counterpart is to activate you, to set you on the right trajectory, to become some sort of a muse, an inspiration, reflection, mirror, but you're not meant to come into union. I hope you haven't shared this information with many, because to be honest, you guys, surrender. I'm ready to surrender myself to our connection. I will no longer run away from it, and I will no longer deny it. I'm trusting in the universe, our love for one another. You're getting there, this collective. I'm going to say this only once. You're going to do whatever you want to do. But my advice, if this really resonates, if this is really you're a healer, you've shut the door, you've been on a journey for a long time, you've been thinking, believing, and saying to other people that it's not meant to happen, find yourself a divine feminine. Like myself, it doesn't have to be me. If you gravitate towards me, link is in my bio. If you don't, find yourself someone else. You, this collective, you may need one session, 1 or 2 sessions, to set your mindset straight, right? To attune the energy right, to have the right conversation with the right healer. But find yourself a true divine feminine whose mission is linked to twin flames and leading them into union. And I would advise someone, that's why I said, like myself, or you can gravitate towards someone else. You can, if you don't want me, pray to your guides to show you someone, but someone who's a true believer, a goddess of love, someone who's like unshakable. I don't care what anyone says. Never doubted on my own journey. Confirmation, because you had strong moments of doubt. You need this energy for someone to like literally slap you in the face. What are you talking about? What do you mean we don't come into union? What? Let's do a few more and we're going to do guidance. Distance, separation. Maybe there is physical distance between the two of you. I'm not sensing that, to be honest, is an important detail, but there may be. It may be a distance, physical distance. Maybe your person lives in a different country or a different city or just far away. But I was hearing more that you, because it's on top of that insecurities, remember what we said? That you're insecure to open that door. Maybe you're worried that you've created too big of a distance. Maybe you're worried that because you closed that door, because you decided that twins are not meant to come into union, this is never going to happen, I want to focus on something else, that you created too big of an energetic distance. Maybe you're coming fully into realization how much the mindset of the feminine influences the actions of the masculine, because it's the feminine who leads the way. I'm hearing maybe you've even done certain things. I hope not, because you're going to have a lot of work if you had, but maybe you haven't, you've done certain things energetically to cut yourself away from your twin, to distance yourself. Very dangerous thing to do. Very dangerous thing. If you've done it to yourself, it's your path and it's your karmic wheel, but I hope you did not recommend this to anyone else. Like the shielding, the tying, the cutting. Not a nice thing. Not a nice thing. We have Casanova. Fear of commitment, fear of being hurt. I feel confirmation. I feel you standing in front of that door and you are embodying a little bit. Runner, just when I said it. You are embodying a bit of a runner energy. You are embodying a bit of avoidant energy. Tower moments again. My beautiful feminines, how do you ever want your masculine to return if you yourself are running away? From the connection, from healing the connection, from your destiny. I mean, in all seriousness,